Yay.
Oh man, I'm so excited. I got to do a quick guest host for one of my favorite people in DC. It is the host of this show, the very incredible, the very funny, the very fantastic Stacey Axler.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Em. Thank you, Emmy. Thank you, everyone, for joining today. It means a lot. It's so good to see all of your faces and see a bunch of happy people. I don't know if you all are like me, but I think you probably are, because I know a lot of you. But hear me out on this. I've been doing a lot of thinking lately, and I've been trying to distill this experience into a way I'm able to say it in not as many words. So here's the experience that I've been thinking about a lot. You know, when you're with a lot of your friends and it's like early summer evening. So it's like early June around 8 p.m. So it's still light out, but it's not too light out. And you're out with all your friends on a bar patio. And you're having such a good time with them. And in your mind, you know that if you could go home and have a good time with the rest of your evening, but you're having such a good time on the patio, you're like, you know what? No, I'm not going to stay home. I am going to stay at this bar for one more drink. Even though you don't need it, you stay for one more drink. You know that experience that I'm talking about. Well, that experience that I just described, that's what mosquitoes do to my body. So they start sucking my blood. They'll choose a point. This is like ourselves when we go to a bar. They'll choose a part of my body. They'll start sucking my blood. And then they could fly away and be totally satisfied, but they're like, no. We will not fly away. We'll just go to a different part of her body, suck more of her blood, and then we'll see where we're at after that. Mosquitoes are truly something that give me so much trouble. It was making me think the other day when I was thinking about mosquitoes, it made me think about the phrase, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Maybe you've heard that, or maybe you have people in your life who have said that phrase. Like you tell them a bad thing and they'll be like, oh, that sounds terrible. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I've thought a lot about that phrase because for me, I'm like, why not? That's why they're your enemy. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the point of having an enemy if you don't wish ill on them? If you don't wish bad things on your enemy, they're not your enemy then. They're just someone you don't like maybe a bad friend or someone who doesn't text back. And in that case, they're not an enemy. In that case, their name is probably Denise or maybe Travis, and they're just lazy. Yeah, don't wish bad on those people, but they're not your enemy. They're just those people in your life who ask for the manager too often, or, you know, gives you a lottery ticket that's worth nothing in the holidays. Anyway, think about it before you say that phrase, because too many people are just saying the word enemy willy-nilly, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it, everyone. I've been thinking about other things too, like I've been trying to read a lot. I've been trying to use this time to do different things. So one of the things I've been doing is I've been learning Spanish on Duolingo. Another thing I've been doing is reading. I've been trying to read more. And this is actually a really interesting time to be alive because we have so many ways that we can access movies and books and different things. But it makes me think whenever I read a book now, I know a lot of people, I'm 28, a lot of people my age and kind of like plus or minus 3 to 5 years, a big way we all got into reading, I think for a lot of us, was with Harry Potter. A lot of people are like, Harry Potter's great. Oh, I love Harry Potter. Everyone's like, J.K. Rowling, thank you for making this book. It made me read. Some people will even go on to say that Harry Potter is the voice of our generation. Ugh. And to that end, I will say, you know who is the real voice of our generation? Margaret Simon. Who is Margaret Simon, you're asking yourself? Well, I'll tell you, Margaret Simon is the protagonist of Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret by Judy Blume, which is the best book ever. It's better than Harry Potter, and I will fight anyone who disagrees with me, but Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret is better than any Harry Potter book. Judy Blume is, I already see some applause hands, and I'm
Well, how do you do that?
I'm going to tell you. Kate, I think that was you. You need to go to your reactions button at the bottom of the screen. And there are only 2 reactions you can do within Zoom, which is limited but satisfactory for this purpose because Judy Blume is the best. I think some people forget about how great Judy Blume is because they're so wrapped up in J.K. Rowling and Harry Potter. But Judy Blume is just so wonderful. And I mean, yeah, that's a great book. Great book. Probably one of the best books ever. I've been thinking a lot about that phrase, voice of a generation. I was once talking to an older gentleman who said, like, they made a blanket statement about millennials, and I am a millennial. What they said was all millennials think that they're the voice of the generation, which really struck a weird chord with me because I know a lot of millennials, and I think a lot of us, myself included, are extremely self-deprecating people. Like, I don't think we would say we're the voice of anything, but I know for myself, I am not the voice of the generation. And I know that because I am also not the voice of myself. And that's something I'm trying to work on. I'm trying to get better at, but I am the type of person that when I go to a bar and I order 2 Miller Lights and the bartender gives me 2 Miller High Lifes, I don't say, oh, no, this isn't what I ordered. I say, oh, thank you, and then I move on because I'm definitely not the voice of really anything at this point. Maybe something I could work on. Maybe. Who knows? At this point, I just want to say you all have been a really, really wonderful audience, and I hope everyone is staying well, staying healthy. Happy Mother's Day. Happy early Mother's Day. And thank you to Capital Cider House for everything. And just thank you all for spending the Friday with me doing some comedy. It's very appreciated. Oh, everyone, thank you. Everyone, I'm Stacey Axler, and I'm very excited to be doing some virtual comedy for you all. I can't wait to get back to Frederick once we're able to do so and put on a live comedy show. But in the meantime, this is a very nice substitute. Something I've been thinking a lot about lately is, you know how a lot of stores are closing, like Payless Shoes closed, Sears is closed. One that really hit me hard when I heard that it was closing was Party City. Party City was such a staple in my life, and it was hard to think about that store closing. But then I really got to think about it, and I thought, am I part of the problem? Like, am I part of the reason why Party City closed? I never went to Party City to ever plan for a party. It wasn't that the point of Party City. I always went there to kill time before going into a movie theater, or I stopped in to buy candy. I never got any of their party supplies. So I don't know if I'm alone in this, but if I'm not, you know, think about it. Think about it. All throughout my life, something, or not all throughout it, but since I was about 16 or so, a lot of people have asked me why I don't drive. And I would like to say, you know, I can drive. I do have a license, but I choose not to. And a lot of people really think that I should drive. Here's the thing though, you know, I've seen people in cars all throughout my life. I've, you know, been a passenger in cars. And I've got to say, it looks so intense, you know. People are blaring their horns. They have serious road rage problems. They'll sometimes roll down their window, shout out of it. There's accidents, you know, people hit other people's cars, and all of this is just in the grocery store parking lot. I mean, This isn't even in any other situation, like on a highway. That's just within a grocery store parking lot. But in my opinion, I truly think that if you want to dissuade someone from ever driving, have them drive even, 5 minutes in a grocery store parking lot, because that will teach you the joys of, taking public transportation and walking, which is what I like to do. The grocery stores parking lots are always a mess. People are fighting over spaces. Everyone's in a terrible mood. But for me, I think things were always bad in the grocery store parking lot. And then they got even worse when they installed those cart return stations in the parking lot around 1998. I remember when those things came in. Everything just started to get worse when that happened. You'd be in the grocery store, you'd look outside, there'd be a phantom shopping cart rolling through the parking lot. People would just be looking at it. They'd be like, whose cart is that? Where did this come from? Like, hello, people, it's not a ghost. Someone didn't return their cart properly. It's rolling through the parking lot. It's causing more accidents than the cars. Anyway, that's kind of why I avoid driving, to be honest. Something I've been thinking about a lot is, how we're told all throughout our lives that, we've evolved from cavemen and cave people. Basically, it's a very simplistic way of teaching young people and children in schools how, look, this is how we evolved. We started as this species and now we've advanced to where we are now. Look at what we can do. We build computers now and phones. We've evolved. A big point in the whole story of our evolution is how our ancestors faced like a turning point when they made fire. And we're told that we're, advanced beyond that. And my question is, have we really? I mean, can you make a fire? Because I'm going to tell you, I can't. Like, if I had to go out into the wilderness right now and make a fire, I wouldn't know what to do. I know in theory what to do. You get branches from a tree, leaves, dry wood, you get it together. Hopefully someone has a magnifying glass or a fire starter. But if you don't have those things, I mean, I know it's harder than just rubbing the two sticks together. I know that because I tried to create like fires every day at recess when I was in elementary school. It's not just about rubbing the two sticks together. So have we advanced so far beyond our ancestors? Yes, we can make a computer. I can't, but we as a population can. But can most people start a fire? That's what I really want them to teach in school, how to balance a checkbook and start fires. I think you could get much farther learning that than learning so much of the stuff that I learned about in school, like cursive. I can't even tell you the last time I've actually used cursive. At this point, I can barely sign my name. Most of it's just me holding a pen going like this. Squiggles. My cursive is squiggles, which is a type of art that preschool children do, where they take a crayon and they go like this. Going back to this technology and evolving type of thing, I do want to hit on this one other point. I was talking about this earlier, and I do want to say, a lot of people really, we're definitely a generation that we're very fortunate to have a lot of tech and science and readily accessible technology at our disposal. We all have smartphones, which are basically little computers we keep with us that we can access directions on it. We can get Ubers to go places. I mean, this is some really good technology. But the thing about all of that is, I appreciate all that technology, and boy, do I use it. I use it quite a bit. But what I would love to see in my lifetime, along with all these technological advancements, but what I would love to see within my lifetime is a garbage disposal that doesn't sound like you're killing a demon on the side. I would love someone to invest in that technology. We have silent vacuums now. Where's my silent garbage disposal? I hate whenever I turn on the garbage disposal, I feel like I have to apologize to someone. I'm just always like, I'm sorry. Garbage disposal. So loud. And it literally sounds like the depths of hell is coming from your garbage disposal. Everyone, thank you so much for listening. I have been Stacey Axler, and there are more comics to come.